have the opportunity to overtake, then you go for the overtake.
Tikrai buvau idealiai pasiruošęs trasą.
We're now fighting for a championship. Another day for the glamorous lifestyle of racing drivers.
Iš tikrųjų, šiandien daug geriau jaučiausi. Galvojau, jau padaryta pusė darbo, jau klausyk, turime pirmą vietą, tai žinau, kad gausime, kad jau gavome 10 sekundžių baudos už pirmą vietą. Šitose varžybose yra taisyklė. Tas, kuris atvažiuoja pirmą, gauna plus 10 sekundžių pasikeitimo metu, antrą plus 5 sekundės, trečia plus 3. Tai ta prasme jau aišku, kad mes jau tikrai nebūsime labai aukštai, nes tiesiog labai sunku tai padaryti su 10 sekundžių baudos. Antras, pas mane atsirado pasitikėjimas po vis tiek tų 3 dienų vairavimo, tų sudėtingų treniruočių, pirmos dienos starto. Jaučiau, kad automobilis pradėjo važiuoti, ir aš jaučiu, kad galiu dar greičiau važiuoti, be jokios rizikos.
You cannot plan race starts, because you don't know what your competitors are doing. But once you've done hundreds of races, you realize that actually never has one of your thoughts or visualizations actually worked, because you don't know what the other people are going to do. You know, they might make a bad start, they make a better start, somebody behind you make a better start. So you just got to ensure you've got the best start, and if you need to defend very quickly, and if you can have the opportunity to overtake, then you go for the overtake.
Nearest to us, the black-nosed Audi is on pole position. That's Stina Slongean, the red-nosed car of Michael Vergers alongside the car of Aurelijus Rusteika, whereas Stina Slongean shares with Nicolas Seidens, from whom we heard on the grid. The lights will change. The race gets underway now. Then we go racing, and a good getaway by Vergers, and there's one on the grass already. I think it's the Brabham that just about survives the experience. Anders Fjord back then.
I didn't get the best start. I'll admit to that. Probably had a little bit of wheel spin, a bit of traction control that kicked in, and I managed to get through turn 1, 2, 3. But then coming out of 3, there was a red KTM, or one of the KTM cars, who had made a really good start. He was putting pressure on me straight away. And so that whole first lap, I had a lot of pressure, because again, I just didn't get tire heat in the car. Our teammates in the Brabham, we'd already discussed pre-event, that maybe they were going to be very quick at the start, and if they were, not to block them, because we were not competing against them, and so forth. So I could see he was very quick. So I thought, well, I could block him and make my life more difficult, or I could just let him go and hopefully slot in behind, and he can help me move forward.
To go around the outside, which gives him the inside into Ravazza. Oh, far too late.
Through the gravel he goes. He's been off the road once. This is a second time.
Vergers almost looking like he's not quite happy with the car yet, taking a couple of stabs into Villeneuve as Fjordback fights back.
Yeah, then it was just a case of the first 3 or 4 laps, a lot of pressure from the KTM, because I think they warm up their tires very quick. Eventually I got some tire temperature in my car and opened the gap, and then slowly started to close the gap to the current, the then leader. We were within 3 seconds when we got to the pit window, and then actually we made a good call, because they pitted and we stayed out. And the fact that we stayed out made us gain probably 3 or 4 seconds in time. And then when we pitted, and we did our driver change, and Aurelijus went out in the lead, because we'd gained that lost time from being behind, and also the penalty from winning the day before, which is a 10-second, you get 10 seconds extra in the pits, and they had 5 seconds extra in the pits because they finished third. So we'd actually made up that deficit.
This is Aurelijus Rusteika. So the efforts of Michael Vergers were good. They got him out ahead.
Ir problema buvo, kad aš dar pirmam rate nebuvau toksai įsijautęs ir kažkaip tai dar toksai...
Now, lead gap significantly down, isn't it? Aurelijus Rusteika has now been caught by Nicholas Salins, getting a bit more confidence, and the pressure is on the Lithuanian driver.
Kažkaip lietus pradėjo linoti, toksai truputėlį lietus linoja liktai. Tokio pasitikėjimo nebuvo, tai jie mane greitai aplenkė.
Very wide goes Rusteika then, and that's going to give a golden chance, isn't it, to Nicholas Salins, who'd got a better line out of Ravazza, makes his move. They're going to be absolutely side by side as they come over the timing line. Nicholas Salins will have the inside line for the run towards Tamburello. He's ahead then now as they cross the line. Through he goes.
Dasivėjau KTM, kurį turėjau lenkti jau ratu. Jiem rodo mėlyną vėliavą, bet jisai taip nesitraukė, o aš taip kažkaip tai nesugebėjau jo aiškiai parodyti, kad aš tave lenksiu. Ir kadangi aš ten paskui jūs strigau kažkiek, tai paskui mane atvažiavo dar vieną Audi, tą belgų, su kuria kovojame dėl vietos. Ir ant tokio labai keistą posūkį iš tikrųjų pradėjau lenkti. Ir įslydau į kairę. Padariau klaidą, įslydau į kairę. Ir tada tas prašoko KTM dar kartą ir po to Audi prašoko. Aš tą KTM sekančią posūkį apsilenkiau. Ir raudona vėliava. Ir taip gausi, kadangi prieš tai pravažiavom starto finišo liniją į antras, tai tas jau Audi lenkimas nebesiskaitė.
The race is over. We have Lady Luck on our side. Key 2, race 2.
Aš klausiu, kelintą mes vietą užėmėm. Tai sako, pirmas. Kaip gali būti pirma, jeigu mane aplenkė automobilis? Ir aš išlipau ir man duoda kepurę pirmos vietos. Sveikina visi, Audi gavo baudą. Sako, 30 sekundžių už per greitą važiavimą per geltoną vėliavą.
You know, it's a long season, and to start off like this is it's a dream come true, really.
Nu ir užlipom ant podiumo, ten vėl šampano, vėl pirmos vietos prizai, viską ten visi švęs laimingi, vėl pirmą vietą, nu neįtikėtina. Ir po to jau lipant nuo scenos, sako, ne, čia kažkas negerai, neturėčiau tos baudos tai komandai duoti. Mes su tais belgais sustojam, ramiai šnekamės, ateina kažkas iš organizatorių, sako, ne, jūs laimėt antrą vietą, apsikeitėm su belgais prizais, pasiėmėm antrą vietą, gerai. Aš vis tiek buvau labai laimingas ir antrą vietą, nes iš tikrųjų, jeigu ne ta avarija, tai būčiau gal net trečias atvažiavęs.
Great weekend. I mean, what a great start to our 22 campaign. New team, new car, a first, a second, and absolutely. I mean, I don't think anybody would expect to start any better than that. I mean, okay, you could have won and won, but a first and a second, we're leading the championship. What a great way to start the season. Now, of course, the pressure is to keep it up.
Aš tai nelabai tikėjau, kad mes galim laimėti. Maikas tai yra vis laiką, sakė, pergalė, pas jį nėra kitokių žodžių. Pirmą vietą, turim tai padaryti. Tai, bet tas gerai, tas toksai stumimas mano ir tokiais, tai man prideda. Aš gaunu daugiau pasitikėjimo, nes jis sako, tu gali. Aš pradedu tikėti, kad aš tikrai galiu važiuoti greitai ir, nuostabu, ko čia pirmą, antrą vietas, tai, aš niekad gyvenime negalėjau to tikėtis ir dabar man tai atrodo, kad čia dar nežinau. Ar čia tikrai taip įvyko? Tai gerai, nusiteikęs, nes trasą žinau, galiu lenktyniauti, visai neblogai sekėsi važiuoti. Tai galvoju, kad atvykau geros nuotaikos turėti gerą rezultatą.
I think we were coming to Red Bull Ring positive and looking forward to, achieving more podiums because we're now fighting for a championship. So we need to make sure we score good points.
Kaip tapome čempionato lyderiai, tai toks spaudimas padidėjo. Visi pradėjo interviu imti ir visur rašyti, visur jau pirmoje vietoje, kad Vergers Rusteika jau toksai spaudimas atsirado savaime. Ir toks dabar norisi nenuvilti, nors tai supranti, kad čia tavo lygis čia toks nėra, toks jau labai, žinai, kad jau galėtum čia pastoviai būti lyderiai, suprantame, kad ir visom kitom komandom, vienom pasisekė, kitom nepasisekė, čempionatas ilgas, čia dar visko bus, bet lyg tai dabar visi žiūri mus, čia atrodo, kad mes čia turime parodyti lygį, bet kaip ir matosi iš kvalifikacijos, kad taip lengvai nebus, tikrai. Trasa tai labai įdomi yra, čia vis tiek tokia labai garsi, kadangi čia vyksta Formulė 1 pastoviai. Tai jinai nėra lyg sudėtinga, nes tik 9 posūkiai, tai 9 posūkius lengviau išmokti, negu buvo Imoloje 19. Bet turi savo trasą, kaip ir visos trasos, turi savo klausimų, turi savo keblumų ir kai kurios vietos yra labai sudėtingos. Atrodo, tiek kartų važiuoji vis tą ratą, čia suki 100 ratą ir vis dar nežinai tiksliai, kaip čia viską atlikti.
Neblogi rezultatai?
Nu tai gerai, jo, atvažiavau geriau negu per praeitas visą treniruotės, kokiam 5 lapį. Tai faina labai. Taip gerai atvažiuot pačioj pradžioj. Bet klausimas, kaip dabar geriau padaryti. Bandžiau geriau, sudėtinga, blem.
So he drove well. I'm not gonna diss that. In the free practice Thursday, he drove well. I mean, he did his fastest lap. He was faster than our preseason test, so that was a positive. I think this weekend he has put some pressure on himself because obviously we come from Imola having won and finished second. So I think he feels, or he's put the pressure on himself to be able to re-achieve that result. But motor racing is very tough. And you don't drive any better by putting more pressure on yourself. You just put more pressure on yourself, and actually it doesn't change the way you drive. It probably affects your driving because you're thinking too much.
Tai turbūt treniruotės metu jautėsi, kad Michaelas važiuoja kai kuriuose posūkiuose greičiau negu aš. Ir man norint važiuoti greičiau reikia pasitikėjimo savimi ir pasitikėjimo automobiliu, kad jis gali ten važiuoti greičiau. Bet čia yra tas lygis aukštesnis, tas ko aš ir siekiu, aišku, bet tai padaryti sunku. Vis tiek trasa, aišku, tokia irgi yra sudėtinga, bet tarp mūsų matosi, kad dabar yra apie 2 sekundės skirtumas, tai man čia yra tikrai daug iššūkių važiuoti taip greitai, kai Michaelas važiuoja.
So my brake is like this. And your brake is like this. So here you're still braking more than I am, and that's killing you, although you brake. But the lap before was same. And the lap before, same. Having tested here pre-season, we were positive, having achieved some good lap times, good consistency. Looks like the BOP for the Audis is hindering us a little bit with the performance. So BOP is balance of performance, which is how the organization balanced all the manufacturers by giving them more power, in layman's term, more power or less power, or more weight or less weight. It was initially designed so that that all manufacturers, or any manufacturer that comes into a championship, has the ability to win at some point. The Audis this weekend are the weakest car from a performance point of view. That doesn't mean over the race distance we won't be able to perform, but from a one-lap qualifying, which we just did, we sure have noticed that we're struggling. So for an example, Sector 1, which only encompasses turn 1, so we have the straight, turn 1, and then another straight, which is about 20 seconds. Our fastest sector time is 22.8. The Porsche does 22.0. So already in just one corner and 2 straights, we are losing 0.8 of a second. So that then is very difficult to regain on the rest of the circuit. So it's definitely a challenge. We are So where we're losing out is top speed. And the Porsche is the fastest. The KTMs are also very fast here, and they're very fast here because their factory is 30 kilometers away. So they do all their testing here. So their car is, their setup is perfect for the circuit. It's very much the manufacturers pushing for a BOP change. Of course, we are in Austria, KTM's home circuit. They're bound to have pushed the hardest. It's also, you could say, off the record, good for them to win at home. But, it is what it is. We had the best BOP in Imola. We're here now, we will fight and maybe struggle a little bit more. But going forward, the BOP will come back to us. The BOP is like this.
Manyčiau, kad kvalifikacija praėjo normaliai, važiavau, aišku, truputėlį gal lėčiau negu galėjau, ten 0,4 sekundės. Bet kaip sakiau, dėl to, kad nepavyko ratos lipdyti vieno greito, lyg tai važiuoju greičiau ir dar kažkur maža klaidelė ir nesigauna, nesusilimpna. Bet vis tiek, jeigu norėčiau kilti kvalifikacijų dar per daugiau, kaip per 4-5 vietas, tai reikia važiuoti ir visą sekundę greičiau. Tai kas yra šiuo metu matyti man neįmanoma dar. Reikia dar patirties, žinių ir dar ateity šitie ateis rezultatai.
Nu ką, standartinė vieta, nebe 11. Greičiau matai niekaip lėmė. Kokią vieną poziciją galėjau pakilti. Menka pagoda, viena pozicija. Nu ką?
Kaip? O ko tau tas triokas, kada tau jisai praeina? Dar bijai tos trasos ar?
Ne, tai žinai, visą laiką stresas prieš treniruotės, prieš kvalifikacijas.
Šampą įpilk.
Jo, žinok, žiauriai padės.
Bet tu čia šitą tai kažkaip siaurai, tu taip plačiau nedarai.
Aš bandžiau, jisai
Aš dabar vergės, jis apžergia kerbą. O kodėl tu neapžergi?
Už tai, kad aš bandžiau apžergti ir mane tada pradeda mėtyti mašiną. Ir aš tada susibalamuotinu.
Stabdyme?
Jo, nes tada BS'as veikia, nes ten yra kerbas didelis.
Bet jeigu tu jį apžergi, tai jisai, iki to, tu kol apžergi, jisai tau gaunas įsiderina mašiną.
Įsiderina mašiną. Jisai, kaip sako vergis, jisai apsižergia prieš ir stabdo jo apsižergia, žinai. Kada jau,
kad tu turėtum jau vienai nurimti.
Bet aš, kadangi ten labai viskas greitai vyksta, aš nepataikau. Ir tada gaunas, jeigu nors vienas ratas ant tų kerbų ir pradeda mašiną svaidyti.
And in free practice yesterday and the day before yesterday, we were very quick. I would say we were comfortably the quickest. I went out, I was quite happy with what I was going to do. And then on my first lap, I went a little bit wide and I picked up I went through a little bit of gravel and grass with the left side. So that I had to abort that lap. And then my second lap, immediately I did a 30.9, I think it was. And then really, I never really got a lap together. I mean, I backed off, I pushed, backed off, pushed. It's difficult when you're so much slower down the straight and then you're trying to make up that time in the corners. And then, of course, you end up making mistakes or you're pushing too much. So, yeah, it's scrappy. I would use the word scrappy. Scrappy qualifying. Not great. But that doesn't mean the race is lost. We have 50 minutes of racing. Anything can happen.
The hills are alive with the sound of GT cars this weekend at the Red Bull Ring because there is a very busy weekend of action. And the first of two races for the Fanatec GT2 European Series is about to get underway.
Dabar reikia ramiai, svarbu šaltus nervus išlaikyti. Nelysti mėsmalę, viską ramiai važiuoti, daryti ką geriausiai, važiuoti savo laiku ir laukti konkurentų klaidų.
Okay, don't have too much fun. Remember, you're working. It's work time now. Office hours. Office hours. Okay? We see you in the pits.
We are around 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go.
So the green flag is waved, the cars accelerate away. David Addison trackside, Filip Sladecka is the man who will line up on pole position. Then it's going to be, of course, a 2x2 rolling start. The two Dayglow KTMs then looking out the front of the grid. It's like a pack of highlighter pens coming to the grid as they make the run out of turn 10 up towards the timing line. The pace car as it is peels into the pit lane. We go racing, and a good start made by Filip Sladecka then on the inside line as they make the run up towards turn 1. A little bit of leaning in the mid pack there because it looked as though Peter Gulinks it was leaning on Gianluca Giorgi's Porsche. Way out, whoa, drama already, and that is Aurelijus Rusteika who is in the wall even before turn 1. Aurelijus Rusteika has one type of luck, and it's bad luck.